system went out, so I don't know what happened, so I had to restart it. But hey, we're back. We are doing Sunday night catch up in this live. Our previous live was how to get monetized on YouTube. So check that live out. I had to end it because the system, something happened to the OBS system. But we're back. I had to go on the phone. We're back. We're back for Sunday night catch up. So let's get caught up. Let's get caught up, y'all. We're starting a new week on tomorrow. On what's tomorrow? Monday. On Monday, I want to make sure that everybody's good as much as possible. And we got a new president. He'll be here in office a week tomorrow. And we'll see what tomorrow holds. We'll see what he have to bring. We'll see what you have to bring when you go to the people's job tomorrow too. And yeah, so we are here. I just it said OBS or something, so I was like, let me go back and let them. So I had to get on the phone. I think it just need to restart, but I'm back. And so just doing a Sunday night checkup before we take it in for tonight and start our day back over on tomorrow on Monday. On Monday, yes. So tomorrow will be 1 week that President Trump will be back and has been back in office. So that's a good thing. And we are constantly growing and growing and growing one way or another, good, bad, or indifferent, but we're growing. And we should learn something each day, each and every day. I have this book. I told y'all about this book before. This is the book that my son, well, my trainer, told me that I had to read part of my workout. So this book is called, I told y'all before, The Richest Man in Babylon. So I said I was going to read it. I haven't started reading it yet, but I need to read it on the first. So you know what? Since we back and we doing a catch up, I'm going to go ahead and start reading. Because remember I told y'all that I was going to read it to y'all. And y'all was like, oh, okay. So I'm going to start reading it right for a little bit. So we will read this book, The Richest Man in Babylon. I need to change the title to Reading. Reading. You know, reading is a lost art. We don't read. We do not read. I remember growing up and we had to read and read and read, and we just don't read anymore. And what, hold on. And we just don't, we don't read anymore. Have y'all ever seen this, heard about this, The Richest Man in Babylon? They have the audio on YouTube. If you put in The Richest Man in Babylon, it's on audio. And it is really, really good. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, thank you. And this is about The Richest Man in Babylon. Y'all, I listened to it. It's long in, on the recorded thing, but it is really, really good. It was written in 19, where did I see that at? It's a classic. The Richest Man in Babylon, the original 1926. 1926. This was written. Yes. If you have not heard if you're not a reader, put in YouTube The Richest Man in Babylon. Once you start listening to it, the audio, it's long now. It's long, but it's worth listening to. It breaks stuff down as for it's about and it's by George S. Clayson. Y'all listen to the audio. If you do not read, guess what? You can listen. You can listen because we don't read. We do not read. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading our and it has all this, and I know I should read all this, but hey, I'm not. So hey everybody, so I'm gonna go ahead and start reading The Richest Man in Babylon for your liking. Okay. So this book is about the richest man in Babylon. It was written in 1926. 1926. So it says, the man who desired gold. The man who desired gold. And you know, we always want some gold. But in our case, we want some money. In our case, we want some money, 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 right? So I'm going to read this to you. It says, the man who desires, so I'm going to leave like, this is the name of the book. The Richest Man in Babylon. I have to read this book by the first. I got it a long time ago. And not I'm sorry, I didn't get it a long time ago, but the deadline is by the first. And my trainer, he has me reading it for my mental, because it helps your mind. Reading helps your mind. I don't know, the OBS went out. So that's why I had to come back on the phone. It said that there was no connection. So I guess it maybe needed restarting or something, but I'm back on I had to get on the phone. So it didn't do that before, so I don't know. So y'all, so I'm gonna read this book. It's called let me actually change it. And I was like, oh Lord, let me go back on here and let them know that I don't know what happened, but we're back. So I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna start reading this because remember I told y'all I had to read this book. Let's see. Hold on. It's The Richest Man in Babylon. They have it as an audio. Y'all listen to. It's long, but it's worth it. It's worth it. It really makes you think. Richest Man in Babylon. Should capitalize this. Because you know, we don't read. We don't be reading like we used to. Growing up, we had to read. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, please. The Richest Man in Babylon. Let me see the story of The Richest Man in Babylon. So this is the story of The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clayson. It was written in 1926, y'all. Next year will be 100 years. 100 years, y'all. So it says, the man who desired gold, Bansir, the chariot builder of Babylon, who was thoroughly discouraged from his seat upon the low wall surrounding his property. He gazed slightly at his simple home and the open workshop in which stood a particularly completed chariot. His wife frequently appeared at the open door. Her furtive glances in his direction reminded him that the meal bag was almost empty and he should be at work finishing the chariot, hammering and hewing, polishing and painting and stretching taut the leather over the wheel rims, preparing it for delivery so he could collect from his wealthy customers. So the wife, she looking at him like, where the money at? Why you ain't working harder? The food is almost gone. Like, you know how we as women, where the money at? Ain't no food in here. What you doing? Yeah, like that. This is The Richest Man in Babylon. That's what I'm reading. The Richest Man in Babylon. Nevertheless, his fat, muscular body sat stolidly upon the wall. His slow mind was struggling patiently with a problem for which he could find no answer. No answer. The hot tropical sun, so typical of this valley of the Euphrates, beat down upon him. Mercifulness. Beads of perspiration formed upon his brow and trickled down unnoticed to loose themselves in tight, hairy jungle on his chest. So they was all in that hairy chest. He had a hairy chest, to say. Beyond his home towered the high terraced wall surrounding the king's palace. Nearby, cleaving the blue heavens, was the painted tower of the temple of Baal. In the shadow of such grandeur was his simple home and many others far less neat and well cared for. Babylon was like this, a mixture of grandeur and squalor, dazzling, dazzling wealth and direct poverty, crowded together without plan or system within the protecting walls of the city. So they had the rich people and they had the poor people. They had the rich and the poor all together. And he working, his wife looking at him like, what you doing? We ain't got no food. What? Come on, get to work, get to work. Y'all, I'm reading The Richest Man in Babylon. Behind him, had he cared to turn and look, the noisy chariots of the rich jostled and crowded aside the sandal tradesmen as well as the barefooted beggars. Even the rich were forced to turn into the gutters to clear the way for the long lines of slave water carriers on the king's business, each bearing a heavy goat skin of water to be poured onto the hanging gardens. So it was crowded. It was crowded. They couldn't even get, the rich people couldn't even get to their house or wherever they were going because it was so many beggars, as they say. So I'm reading The Richest Man in Babylon. Banser was too engrossed in his own problem to hear or heed the confused hub of the busy city. It was the unexpected twanging of the strings from a familiar lie that aroused him from his reverie. He turned and looked into the sensitive, smiling face of his best friend, Kobe, the musician. Maybe the gods bless thee with great liberty, my good friend, began Kobe, with an elaborate salute. Yet it does appear they have already been so generous, thou needest not to labor. I rejoice with thee in thy good fortune. More, I would even share it with thee. Pray from thy purse, which must be bulging, else thou wouldst be busy in your shop. Extract but 2 humble shekels and lend them to me until after the Noman's feast this night. Thou wilt not miss them ere they are returned. So he said, loan that money to me. Loan that money to me. I'm gonna go over here to this feast tonight, but I'm gonna bring them 2 shekels back that you loan me. And he said, if I did have 2 shekels, Banser responded gloomily, to no one could I lend them. He's saying if I did have the money, I couldn't lend them to you. I need them. My wife over there acting up. She say we ain't got no food. So he, even if he had and he wanted to give to his best friend until he get back, he couldn't do it. He said, to no one could I lend them, not even to you, my best friend, my best of friends, for they would be my fortune, my entire fortune. No one lends his entire fortune, not even to his best friend. What? Exclaimed Kobe with genuine surprise. Thou hast not 1 shekel in thy purse, yet sit like a statue upon a wall. Why not complete that chariot? How else canst thou provide for thy noble appetite? This not like thee, my friend. Where is thy endless energy? Though something distress thee, have the gods brought to thee trouble? Or torment from the gods it must be. Banser agreed. It began with a dream, a senseless dream, in which I thought I was a man of means. From my belt hung a handsome purse, heavy with coins. There was shekels, which I cast with careless freedom to the beggars. How many of us have done that? How many of us have done that? Gave our money because we thought we had more. I did that. I did that a lot, and then I realized I needed that money. I shouldn't have gave them my niece them that money. I need, but we think we have more than what we have until we need it. And he said, freedom to the beggars. There were pieces of silver with which I did buy finery for my wife and whatever I did desire for myself. There were pieces of gold which made me feel assured of the future and unafraid to spend the silver. A glorious feeling of contentment was within me. You would not have known me for thy hard-working friend, nor would it have known my wife. So free from wrinkles was her face and shining with happiness. She was again the smiling maiden of our early married days. A pleasant dream indeed, commented Cobby. But why should such pleasant feelings as it aroused turn thee into a gloom statue upon the wall? Why indeed? Because when I awoke and I remembered how empty was my purse, a feeling of rebellion swept over me. Let us talk it out. Let us talk it over together. For as the sailors do say, we ride in the same boat, we are two. As youngsters, we went together to the priest to learn wisdom. As young men, we shared each other's pleasures. As grown men, we have always been close friends. We have been contented subjects of our kind. We have been satisfied to work long hours and spend our earnings freely. We have earned much corn in the years that have passed, yet to know the joys that come from wealth, we must dream about them. But are we more than dumb sheep? We live in the richest city in all the world. The travelers do say none equals it in wealth. About us in much display of wealth, but of it we ourselves have none. After half a lifetime of hard labor, thou, my best of friends, has an empty purse, and yes to me, says to me, may I borrow such a trifle as 2 shekels until after the nobleman's feast this night? Then what do I reply? Do I say, here is my purse? Its contents I will gladly share. No, I admit that my purse is empty as thine. What is the matter? Why cannot we acquire silver and gold more than enough for food and robes? Consider also our sons. Bansir continued. Are they not following in the footsteps of their fathers? Need they and their families and their sons' families live all their lives in the midst of such treasures of gold, and yet, like us, we content to banquet upon sour goat's milk and partridge. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? Yeah. Think about it. Y'all, are you does this sound familiar? It does to me. In the richest country in the yeah. So this is the name of the book I'm reading, The Richest Man in Babylon. Never in all the years of our friendship did I thou talk like this before, Bansir. Kobe was puzzled. Never in all those years did I think like this before. From early dawn until darkness stopped me, I have labored to build the finest chariots any man could make, soft heartedly, hoping someday the gods would recognize my worthy deeds and bestow upon me great prosperity. This they have never done. How many can relate? How many can relate to this? At last, I realized this. They will never do. Therefore, my heart is sad. I wish to be a man of means. How many of you wish to be a man of means? How many? A lot. A lot of us. I wish to own lands and cattle, to have fine robes and coins in my purse. I am willing to work for these things with all the strength in my back, with all the skill in my hands, with all the cunning in my mind, but I wish my labors to be fairly rewarded. What is the matter with us? Again, I ask you, why? Why cannot we have our just share of the good things so plentiful for those who have the goal with which to buy them? How many of you ask this question? The rich, they keep getting richer. I work and I work and I work and I work and I'm not getting anywhere. How many of us ask these questions, the same questions? What I knew and answer, Kobe replied, no better than thou am I satisfied. My earnings from my lair are quickly gone. How many check y'all of our paychecks is quickly gone? We this was 1926. It's 2025. It still relates today. The same thing. Y'all hit the like button, y'all. We got super chat going too. We got super chat and hit the like button. And I'm reading The Richest Man in Babylon. No better than thou am I satisfied. My earnings from my lyre are quickly gone. Often must I plan and scheme that my family be not hungry. How many of us can relate to this today? Also, within my breast is a deep longing for a lyre large enough that it may truly sing the strands of music that do surge through my mind. With such an instrument could I make music even the king has heard before. Such a lyre thou shouldst have. No man in all Babylon could make it sing more sweetly, could have it sing so sweetly. Not only the king, but the gods themselves would be delighted. But how mayest thou secure it while we both of us are as poor as the king's slave? They want all that, but they say we poor. How we gonna get it? How many of us say that? How many? It's still relevant today. Listen to the bell. Here they come. He pointed to the long column of half naked, sweating water bearers plodding down, plodding down upon the narrow street from the river. 5 abreast they marched, even bent under a heavy goat skin of water, a fine figure of a man. He would though lead them. Kobe indicated the wearer of the bell who marched in front without a load, a prominent man in his own country. This easy to see. There are many good figures in the line, Banser agreed. As good men as we, tall, blond men from the north, laughing, black men from the south, little brown men from the near countries, all marching together from the river to the gardens, back and forth, day after day, year after year, not of happiness to look forward to, beds of straw upon which to sleep, hard grain partridge to eat. Pity the poor brutes, Kobe. Pity them I do. Yet thou dost make me see how little better off are we. Free men, though we call ourselves. This is true, Kobe. Unpleasant thought though it be. We do not wish to go one on year after year living slavish lives, working, working, and getting nowhere. How many of us? How many of us? And this is the book right here I'm reading, The Richest Man in Babylon. And it says, I'm trying to find my place. uh, might we not find out how others acquire gold? Don't we want to know how the rich keep getting richer? We want to like how they keep getting richer. How they a millionaire? How did they become a millionaire? How they a billionaire? How they doing it? How they we ask those questions. How we do it? I mean, how they do it? How they do it? Many people ask those questions. How others acquire gold and do as they do, Kobe inquired. Perhaps there is some secret we might learn if we but sought from those who knew, replied Banser thoughtfully. This very day, suggested Kobe. I did pass our old friend, Arcade, riding in his golden chariot. Now their friend is his friend is riding in a chariot. And he broke. The friend is in a chariot, but he broke. But let's read on. This I will say, he did not look over my humble head as many in his station might consider his right. Instead, he did wave his hand that all onlookers might see him pay greetings and bestow his smile of friendship upon Kobe, the musician. He is claimed to be the richest man in all of Babylon. Banser mused. So rich, the king is said to seek his golden aid in affairs of the treasurer. Kobe replied, So rich? Banser interrupted. I fear if I should meet him in the darkness of the night, I should lay my hands upon his fat wallet. So he said he gonna take his wallet. He said that if he see him at nighttime, that wallet gonna be gone. And so he said, Nonsense, reproved Kobe. A man's wealth is not in the purse he carries. A man's wealth is not in his pocket. In other words, a fat purse quickly empties if there be no golden stream to refill it. Refill it. That is so true. Arcot has an income that constantly keeps his purse full, no matter how literally he spends. Income that is the thing, ejaculated Banser. I wish an income that will keep flowing into my purse, rather I sit up on the wall or travel to far lands. Arcad must know how a man can make an income for himself. Though suppose it is something he could make clear to a mind as slow as mine. Y'all, this right now. This is right now, y'all. It says, methinks he did teach his knowledge to his son. No, Monsieur, Kobe responded. Did he not go to Nivea? And so it is told at the end, become without aid from his father, one of the richest men in that city. Kobe, thou bringest to me a rare thought. A new light gleamed in Banser's eyes. It costs nothing to ask wise advice from a good friend, and Arcade was always that. Never mind, though, our purses be as empty as the falcon's nest of a year ago. That means they were broke. They ain't had no money. And he said, hold on, I lost my track. He said, let that not detain us. We are weary of being without gold in the midst of plenty. We wish to become men of means. Come, let us go to Arcad and ask how we also may acquire incomes for ourselves. Thou speakest with true inspiration, Bansir. Thou bringest to my mind a new understanding. Thou makest me to realize the reason why we have never found any measure of wealth. We never sought it. Thou hast labored patiently to build the statues, chariots in Babylon. To that purpose was devoted your best endeavors. Therefore, at it thou didst succeed. I strove to become a skillful player, and at it I did succeed. In those things towards which we exerted our best endeavors, we succeeded. The gods were content to let us continue thus. Now, at last, we see a light, bright like that from the rising sun. It biddeth us to learn more that we may prosper more. With a new understanding, we shall find honorable ways to accomplish our desires. Let us go, Arcad, this very day, Banser urged. Also, let us ask our friends of our boyhood days, who have fared no better than ourselves, to join us that they too may share in his wisdom. Thou wert ever thus thoughtfully of thy friends, Banser. Therefore hast thou many friends. It shall be as thou sayest. We go this day and take them with us. So he's like, well, wait, let me go get the other people. Let me go get these other people because they are friends. So if we make it, we want them to make it too. Which, that's right. If I'm struggling, you struggling, we friends. Well, when I find out something, I'm gonna tell you, come on, let's go, because I want all of us to make it. And that's exactly what Basher said. Let's all make it. Let's all get something, you know. So does this story? That's only chapter 1. Does this ring true today? Does it ring true today in 2025? And this book was written in 1926. Yeah, yeah. This book was written in 1926. Next year, it will be 100 years old since this book was written. 99 years later, this same information that's in this book, it's right now. We're living it right now today. And it's, oh my goodness. I'm like, so it's in the early 1920s, George S. Clason wrote a collection of parables set in ancient Babylon that provided guidance on one's financial well-being. These parables were distributed as pamphlets to U.S. banking and insurance. Oh wow! Were distributed as pamphlets to U.S. banking and insurance customers and were so well received by the public that in 1929 the parables were collected into one volume under the title of his most famous story, The Richest Man in Babylon, largely seen as a classic in personal finance advice. The Richest Man in Babylon has provided millions with guidance and inspiration for financial wellness. So, y'all, this is true right now today. And he wrote it in 1926. it it applies to people's life right now. I know when I first heard it on audio, I was like, what? Yes, yes. So it applies in some kind of way. It applies. And it says money is plentiful for those who understand the simple laws which govern its acquisition. He was born in Louisiana, Missouri on November 7, 1871. George S. Clason, he the one who wrote the book, is widely known for his collection of parables that provide guidance to financial success. Titled The Richest Man in Babylon, he is credited with coining the phrase, pay yourself first. He died in 1957. So he said, pay yourself first. That was his motto. Pay yourself first, and after you pay yourself, then you pay everybody else. A lot of people don't pay themselves first. A lot of people like, no, 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 I gotta pay my bills first. I gotta pay my bills first. And it's like, no. He say pay yourself first. Take out a certain percentage for you first, and then whatever you got left, you spread that out amongst everybody else. But you come first. That's what he's saying. You come first. So are you all liking the story so far? Y'all make sure y'all hitting the like button, please. Y'all, we got the super chat up there as well while I'm reading the story to you all. We got the super chat. Let me get some root beer for my dry throat. Y'all liking it so far? Hey, Melly. Okay. Well, you know what? I think we're gonna start reading stories. I think we'll start doing that. Life and Times Prejudice. Okay. I'm gonna have to get my son. My son might have that book. So y'all liking it so far? It's kind of hot in here, y'all. So now this is the second. I'm on the second chapter. It says, "The richest man in Babylon. In old Babylon, there once lived a certain very rich man named Arcad. Far and wide, he was famed for his great wealth. Also was also was be famed. Also, he was famed for his liberty, his liberty, I guess. He was generous in his charities. He was generous with his family. He was a liberal in his own expenses. But nevertheless, each year his wealth increased more rapidly than he spent it. So he held on to, okay, good night, thanks for coming. But he held on to it, y'all. He was spending, but he wasn't spending all his money. Oh, see you tomorrow, Agatha. He wasn't spending all his money. He was holding on to it, right? Which I don't blame him. You don't never know when time's gonna get hard. So, and there were certain friends of younger days who came to him and said, "You, Arcad, are more fortunate than we." You know how when people think you doing better than them and you have money and they're like, "Yeah, you doing good. You doing good. Can I borrow some money? Can you give me some money?" They don't know what your situation is. They just think that you're doing really, really good. Yeah. So I said, "You have become the richest man in all Babylon while we struggle for existence. You can wear the finest garments and you can enjoy the rarest food, while we must be content if we can clothe our families in raiment that is presentable and feed them as best we can. Yet, once we were equal, we studied under the same master. We played in the same games. And in neither the studies nor the games did you outshine us. And in the years since, you have been no more an honorable citizen than we, nor have you worked harder or more faithfully insofar as we can judge. Why? then should a fickle fate single you out to enjoy all the good things of life and ignore us who are equally deserving. Thereupon Arcad remonstrated with them, saying, if you have not acquired more than a bare existence in the years since we were youth, it is because you either have failed to learn the laws that govern the building of wealth, or else you do not observe them. And it's like, that's true, y'all. If you've been living in this life and you have not figured out how to better care for yourself and how to have a decent life, then something wrong with that. I think I'm with him. I'm with him. Fickle fate is a vicious goddess who brings no permanent good to anyone. On the contrary, she brings ruin to almost every man upon whom she showers unearned gold. She makes wanton spenders who soon dissipate all they receive and are left beset by overwhelming appetites and desires they have not the ability to gratify. Yet others whom she favors become misers and hoard their wealth, fearing to spend what they have, knowing that they do not possess the ability to replace it. So they're saying, I got this money, but I'm scared to spend it because I don't know how I'm going to get it back, how I might be able to add back to it. And you know, if you know people like that, they might have some money, but they so scared to spend it because they like, well, I got this. It took me a long time to save this money up. I can't just be wasteful spending, or I just can't. I'm just not gonna spend because I'm scared. We know people like that. They further are best by fear of robbers and doom themselves to lives of emptiness and secret misery. Wow. Yeah, people are, yeah. Others, there probably are, who can take unearned gold and add to it and continue to be happy and contented citizens. But so few are they. I know of them, but by hearsay. Think you of the men who have inherited sudden wealth, and see if these things are not so. His friends admitted that one of the men they knew who had inherited wealth, these words were true, and they besought him to explain to them how he had become possessed of so much prosperity. So he continued, in my youth, I looked about me and saw all the good things there were to bring happiness and contentment. And I realized that wealth increased the potency of all these. Wealth is a power. Wealth is power. I don't care what nobody say. Wealth is power. With wealth, many things are possible. With money, stuff you couldn't do before, you could do it now. Yeah, you can do it now. One may one may ornament the home with the richest of furnishings. One may sail the distant seas. One may feast on the delicacies of far lands. One may buy the ornaments of the gold worker and the stone polisher. One may even build mighty temples for the gods. One may do all these things and many others in which there is delight for the senses and gratification of the soul. And when I realized all of this, I decided to myself, I will claim my share of the good things of life. And that's the thing, y'all. People complain and complain and complain. Oh, this, oh, that. No, it's on you. If you want to have a good life, it's up to you to figure out how you going to give yourself a good life. It's not up to nobody else. It's up to you. how I'm going to do this. I want a good life. I want a healthy life. How am I going to go about doing that? And it's like, once you figure out how to do it, then you start putting the work in. You start whatever that work entail, you do it. Because you say, now for me, I say, look, I am deserving of a good life. What make me deserving of a good life? Because I'm willing to put in what needs to be put in order to achieve that good life. What I define as a good life for me. I'm willing to go without to get that good life. I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to be uncomfortable. So people are like, oh, I deserve this. Well, what make you deserve it? Because you said it? No. And I will not be one of those who stand far off enviously watching others enjoy. I will not be content to clothe myself in the cheapest raiment that look respectable. I will not be satisfied with the lot of a poor man. On the contrary, I would make myself a guest at this banquet of good things. That's what I'm saying. You you decide how you want your life. It's not up to the government. It ain't got nothing to do with how you brought was raised. It ain't got nothing to do. It's up to you. It's up to the person that's looking themselves back in the mirror. It's you. It's me. It's us. You determine what kind of life you want for yourself. It's you. I'm reading the book about the richest man in Babylon. So we're gonna start doing a book a week. Well, no, wait. Let me take that back. Did we read this book this week? We're reading this book this week. The richest man in Babylon. And it said, I will make myself, being as you know, the son of a humble merchant, one of a large family with no hope of an inheritance and not being endowed, as you have so frankly said. With superior powers of wisdom, I decided that if I was to achieve what I desired, time and study would be required. That's what I just said. Putting the time in, being uncomfortable, doing the research, doing what it takes. As for time, all men have it in abundance. It's what you choose to do with your time. Each of you have let slip by sufficient time, yet you admit you have nothing to show except your good feelings of which you can be justly proud. As for study, did not our wise teachers teach us that learning was of two kinds? The one kind being the things we learned and knew, and the other being the training that taught us how to find out what we did not know. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. And if you don't know something, go find out. Go find out. Don't be, oh, well, I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it. No, no. If you want better, you gotta go and find it. You gotta seek out better. Just because your family was whatever, that don't mean you got to be that. That don't mean that. That means that, you know, my family ain't do nothing with their life. They ain't this, they ain't that. But I want different. I want different for my life. If you want different, you going to seek out the knowledge. And you going to, they say knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power if you don't do nothing with the knowledge. If you don't apply the knowledge, it's useless. It's useless. So people need to stop saying your knowledge is power. Not when you ain't applying it. Not when you're not applying it, your life's still the same. No, no, no. It's applied knowledge. When you apply it, just like he's saying. And so he said, uh, let's see, he said as for time. As for study, did not I, okay? That's what I look. I moved my finger, so I forgot where I was at. Therefore, did I decide to find out how one might accumulate wealth? He wanted to know, how do I get the money? What I gotta do to get the money? What I gotta do? Okay, let me go find out. Let me go seek out knowledge. And once I seek that knowledge out, let me see how I'm applied to my situation so I could get that money. That's what he said. And when I had found out to make this my task and do it well, for it is not wise that we should enjoy while we dwell in the brightness of the sunshine. For sorrows enough shall descend upon us when we depart from for the darkness of the world of spirit. I found employment as a scribe in the hall of records, and long hours each day. I labored upon the clay tablets week after week and month after month. I labored, yet for my earnings I had nothing to show. He ain't not have nothing to show, he said. Food and clothing and pence to the gods and other things of which I could remember, not what absorbed all my earnings, but my determination did not leave me. Even though he was broke, his money was gone, it was leaving. He still didn't let that stop him. It was just a minor little, okay, let me figure this out. I'm paying this money out, but he still knew what he needed and what he wanted for himself to have a better life. There's no reason why any of us in the United States of America in 2025 should be around here struggling. We shouldn't be struggling financially. We shouldn't be struggling financially. We shouldn't be struggling. We shouldn't be struggling financially for sure. It's too many resources out here available for us to get ourselves out of the hole. So he said, I got to keep my finger. He said, and one day, Algamish, the money lender, came to the house of the city master and ordered a copy of the ninth law. And he said to me, I must have this in 2 days. If the task is done by that time, 2 coppers will I give to thee. So I labored hard, but the law was so long. Lord, it was so long. And when Algamish returned, the task was unfinished. He was angry, and had I been his slave, he would have beat me. So they were beating them slaves. They were beating people, y'all. And I'm reading The Richest Man in Babylon. He was angry, and had I been a slave, he would have beaten me. But knowing the city master would not permit him to injure me, I was unafraid. So I said to him, Algamish, you are a very rich man. Tell me how I may also become rich. Opportunity. You see the opportunity? Opportunity. Ask questions. If you don't know something and somebody that's doing what you want to do, ask questions. Ask questions. Excuse me. May I ask you a question? 9 times out of 10, they gonna say yeah, cause they don't know what the question, but they glad to ask you the question, answer the question, and whatever your question is, if it's something that you want to do, and you're like, may I ask how you got rich? May I ask how you able to whatever it might be? Ask questions, y'all. That's the only way you're gonna get the answer. Ask questions. He said, tell me how I may also become rich, and all night I will carve upon the clay. And when the sun rises, it shall be completed. He smiled at me and replied, you are forward cave, knave, cave, knave. I'm gonna say knave. It's a came from, but we will call it a bargain. All that night I carved, though my back pained and the smell of the wick made my head ache until my eyes could hardly see. But when he returned at sunup, the tables were complete. He was willing to go all night long. all night long because he knew it was a benefit in the end for him to gain knowledge for where he was trying to go, where he wanted to go. He was willing to sacrifice his sleep, his rest, in order to get something back in return. Now I said, tell me what you promised. Now I gave to you what I said. Now I need back what you told me you was gonna give me. Um, you have fulfilled your part of our bargain, my son, he said to me kindly, and I am ready to fulfill mine. I will tell you these things you wish to know because I am becoming an old man. An old tongue loves to wag. If y'all know anything about older people, they love to talk. Older people love to talk. Be like, can you tell me so and so? Older people, they gonna make sure you got time if you ask them a question, cause they go talk. I be talking too. And he said, and when old tongue loves to wag, and when youth comes to age for advice, he receives the wisdom of years. But too often does you think that age knows only the wisdom of days that are gone, and therefore profits not. But remember this: the sun that shines today is the sun that shone when thy fathers was born, and will still be shining when thy last grandchild shall pass into the darkness. The same sun that was shining when my mama was born is the same sun that's shining today when I'm here. 54 years later. Same sun. No change. Same sun, y'all. Remember that. He said, the thoughts of youth, he continued, are bright lights that shine forth like the meteors that all make brilliant the sky. But the wisdom of age is like the fixed stars that shine so unchanged that the sailor may depend upon them to steer his course. Mark, you will my words. For if you do not, you will fail to grasp the truth that I will tell you, and you will think that your night's work has been in vain. You gotta listen. When people are telling you stuff, listen. Don't listen to respond all the time. Listen to comprehend and understand, to get clarity in what people are saying instead of always want to respond. A lot of us, we just want to respond. We don't listen to comprehend and to understand. Y'all start listening. Me too. And it says, let's see, y'all. I gotta keep my finger because I don't. Then he looked at me shrewdly from under his shaggy brows and said in a low, forceful tone, I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earned was mine to keep, and so will you. Remember when he said keeping uh paying yourself first? Paying yourself first. That's what he's talking about. When you get paid, pay yourself first. That's what he's saying. Then he continued to look at me with a glance that I could feel pierce me, but said no more. Is that all I ask? That was sufficient to change the heart of a sheep herder into the herd of a monkey lender, he replied. Meaning, that was enough. That was enough. Did you get it? Did you get the understanding? Did you get the concept? But all I earn is mine to keep. Is it not? I demand it? Far from it, he replied. Do you not pay the garment maker? Do you not pay the sandal maker? Do you not pay for the things you eat? Can you believe in Babylon without spending? Can you live in Babylon without spending? What have you to show for your earnings for the past month? How many daddies y'all? What y'all got for y'all chick? Y'all working for December. What y'all got to show for it? What you got to show for your earnings for last month? Yeah, I thought so. Me too. Me too. But I'm working on it. And what for the past year, fool? You pay to everyone but yourself. That's the point. That's the point. We make sure everybody paid but ourselves. That's what he's saying. You're a fool. How you gonna go work and pay everybody else first and not pay yourself? That's foolish. That's what he's telling them. That's foolish. Duller, you labor for others as well. Be a slave and work for what your masters give you to eat and wear. If you did keep for yourself 1/10 of all you earn, how much would you have in 10 years? How much? Think about that, y'all. And when we get paid, we pay ourselves a tenth every time we get paid. And just say for 10 years. 10 years. But we paying ourselves, but we putting that in some kind of investment account. So that way in 10 years, we'll have some money that's the made money. And he said, hold on, y'all. This finger, I gotta my knowledge of the numbers did not forsake me. And I answer as much as I earn in 1 year. You speak but half the truth, he retorted. Every gold piece you save is a slave to work for you. It's a benefit when you save. That's what he's telling him. It's a benefit. Why spend all your money? You ain't gonna save nothing. What if hard times come? You ain't gonna save nothing. Now your car break. You ain't got nothing saved. You know. So yeah, every copper it earns is its child that also can earn for you. Remember I said put the money in an investment account. Every payday have it going there so it can earn money for you. So when you get senior citizen, you'll have that money. Remember I said that? If you will become wealthy, then what you save must earn, and its children must earn, that all may help to give to you the abundance you crave. You think I cheat you for your long night's work? He continued, but I am paying you 1,000 times over if you have the intelligence to grasp the truth I offer. Did y'all catch that? Let me read that again. He told the guy, the old man told the younger guy, you think I cheat you for your long night's work? He continued, but I am paying you 1,000 times over. If you have the intelligence to grasp, meaning to understand the truth I offer, meaning the information I'm giving you is worth way more. Way more. That's the thing, y'all. That's the thing. As part of all you earn is yours to keep. It should be not less than a tenth, no matter how little you earn, no matter how much money you make, a tenth. A tenth, no matter how much you make. You know what? Pay yourself first. Do not buy from the clothes maker and the sandal maker more than you can pay out of the rest and still have enough for food and charity and penance to the gods. Wealth, like a tree, grows from a tiny seed, meaning that 10% that you taking every paycheck and you putting up is gradually growing. Gradually growing. That's what he means. A tiny seed. It grows from a tiny seed. That first 10%. The first copper you save is the seed from which your tree of wealth shall grow. Remember I just said, I didn't even know we were going to say that, but I knew that's what he meant. The sooner you plant that seed, the sooner shall the tree grow. And the more faithful you nourish and water that tree with constant savings, the sooner may you bask in contentment beneath its shade. So saying, he took his tablets and went away. I thought much about what he had said to me, and it seemed reasonable, so I decided that I would try it. Each time I was paid, I took from each 10 pieces of copper and hid it away. And strange as it may seem, I was no shorter of funds than before. Wow. I noticed little difference as I managed to get along without it. But often I was tempted. You'll be tempted to go back and get that money. You'll be tempted. You'll be like, wait, let me go over here and let me see if I did. As my hoard began to grow, to spend it for some of the good things the merchants displayed, brought my camels and ships from the land of the Phoenicians, but I wisely refrained. A 12th month after Amagish had gone, he again returned and said to me, Son, have you paid yourself? Not less than 1/10 of all you have earned for the past year? I answered proudly, Yes, master, I have. That is good. He answered, beaming upon me. And what have you done with it? I have given it to Azur, the brickmaker, who told me he was traveling over the four seas and in Tyre. He would buy for me the rare jewels of the Phoenicians. When he returns, we shall sell these at high prices and divide the earnings. Every fool must learn. We all been a fool when it comes to our money. We all been a fool in some kind of way. He said, every fool must learn. He growled. But why trust the knowledge of a brickmaker about jewels? Think about that. I cut grass, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go buy some diamonds. Give me your money. I'm going to go buy the diamonds for you. But I cut grass. That's all you know me to do is cut grass. But I'm going to give you money to go buy diamonds. You're going to bring them back? No, you're going to take my money. And I'm foolish enough to give it to you because I believe you. And that's what he did. Would you go to the bread maker to inquire about the stars? No. Buy my tunic? You would go to the astrologer if you had power to think. Your savings are gone. Youth, you have jerked your wealth tree up by the roots, meaning you done pull them up just like that. You done gave all your money that you done saved for one whole year. You just took and said, here, take it, take it, take it, take it, take it, take it. You gave it away. Your savings are gone. And next time, if you would have advice about jewels, go to the jeweler, the jewel merchant. If you would know the truth about sheep, go to the herdsman. If you would know the truth about sheep, go to the herdsman. Advice is one thing that is freely given away. But watch that you take only what is worth having. You can take advice, but sift it. Don't sift the advice, y'all. He who takes advice about his savings from one who is inexperienced in such matters shall pay with his savings for proving the falsity of their opinions, saying this he went away. And it was as he said, for the Phoenicians are scoundrels and sold to Azur worthless bits of glass that looked like gems, but if alchemists had bid them, I again saved each 10th copper, for I now have formed the habit, and it was no longer difficult. Again, 12 months later, Amagish came to the room of the scribes and addressed me. What progress have you made since last I saw you? I have paid myself faithfully, I replied, and my savings I have entrusted to Agur, the shield maker, to buy bronze in each fourth month. He does pay me the rental. That is good. And what do you do with the rental? I do have a great feast. I do have a great feast with honey and fine wine and spiced cake. Also, I have bought me a scarlet tunic, and someday I shall buy me a young ass upon which to ride. To which Amagish laughed, You do eat the children of your savings. Then how do you expect them to work for you? And how can they have children that will also work for you? You get it? It's they daddy gonna work for you, then they gonna come along, their daddy and them, so it's just passed down. That's right now. This is right now, y'all. Last year, the year before that, and it says, First, get thee an army of golden slaves, and then many a rich banquet may you enjoy without regret. So saying, he again went away. Nor did I again see him for 2 years, when he once more returned, and his face was full of deep lines. That means he was getting older. And his eyes drooped, for he was becoming a very old man. And he said to me, Arcad, hast thou yet achieved the wealth thou dreamed of? And I answered, Not yet. All that I desire, but some I have, and it earns more, and its earnings earn more. And do you still take the advice of brick makers? About brick making, they give good advice. I returned. He said they do give you good advice. You first learn to live upon the less. Oh, well, no. He said, Arcad, he continued, you have learned your lessons well. You first learned to live upon less than you could earn. Next, you learned to seek advice from those who were competent through their own experience to give it. And lastly, you have learned to make gold work for you. You got to figure it out. You got to figure it out for yourself. You have taught yourself how to acquire money, how to keep it, and how to use it. Therefore, you are competent for a responsible position. I'm becoming an old man. My sons think only of spending and giving, no thought to earning. My interests are great, and I fear too much for me to look after. If you will go to Nippur, and look after my lands there, I shall make you my partner, and you shall share in my estate. So I went to Nippur and took charge of his holdings, which were large. And because I was full of ambition, and because I had mastered the 3 laws of successful handling wealth, I was enabled to increase greatly the value of his properties. So I prospered much. And when the spirit of Algamish departed for the sphere of darkness, I did share in his estate, as he had arranged under the law. So spake Akar, and when he had finished his tale, one of his friends said, You were indeed fortunate, and Angamish made you an heir. He had proven himself. So after he proved himself to the man with the money, he was like, okay. So, sometimes you'll be given a test. And that was his test that the old man had given him. Like, let me see, let me tell him, and let me see if he's going to do what I told him to do, how he's going to be able to acquire wealth. And he did, and he rewarded him because he did what he was supposed to do. Fortunately, only in that Hold on, y'all. Okay, we got. Fortunately, only in that I had the desire to prosper before I first met him. That's what I was saying. He had the desire. You gotta have the desire to want to do better. You have to have the desire to say, nah, I can't keep doing this like this. I can't this, I can't that. You have to have that in order to make it. For 4 years, did I not prove my definiteness of purpose by keeping 1/10 of all earned? Would you call a fisherman lucky who for years so studied the habits of the fish that with each changing wind he could cast his nets about them? Opportunity is a haughty goddess who wastes no time with those who are unprepared. You had strong willpower to keep only half you lost your first year saving. You are unusual in that way, spoke up another. Willpower, retorted Arcad. What nonsense. Do you think willpower gives a man the strength to lift a burden the camel cannot carry, or to draw a load the oxen cannot budge? Willpower is but the unflinching purpose to carry a task you set for yourself to fulfillment. If I set for myself a task, be it ever so trifling, I shall see it through. Gotta see it through. You gotta see it through. Hold on, y'all. Where my finger at? Do you think? Who else shall I convince? Who else shall I have confidence in myself to do important things? Should I say to myself for 100 days, as I walk across the bridge into the city, I will pick from the road a pebble and cast it into the stream. I will do it. If on the seventh day I pass by without remembering, I will not say to myself, tomorrow I will cast two pebbles to make up for the day because I forgot, which will do as well. Instead, I would retrace my steps and cast a pebble. Nor on the 20th day would I say to myself, Arcad, this is useless. What does it avail you to cast a pebble every day? Throw in a handful and be done with it. They're like, get it over with. Just put them all in there. Just put them all. He like, nope, I can't do that. I can't do it. I got one at a time. One at a time. Throw in a handful and be done with it. No, I will not say that nor do it. When I set a task for myself, I complete it. When you set goals for yourself, no matter what, me included, we need to fulfill those goals. We do. We need to fulfill them. Therefore, I am careful not to start difficult and practical tasks because I love leisure. Mm. Again, another friend spoke up and said, if what you tell us is true, and it does seem as you have said reasonable, then being so simple, if all men did it, that would not be enough wealth to go around. Wealth grows. Wherever men exert energy, Arcad replied, if a rich man builds him a new palace, is the gold he pays out gone? No, the brickmaster has part of it, and the laborer has part of it, and the artist has part of it, and everyone who labors upon the house has part of it. Yet when the palace is completed, it is not worth all its cost, and is the ground upon which it stands not worth more because it is there? And is the ground that adjoins it not worth more because it is there? Wealth grows in magic ways. No man can prosper the limit of it. Have not the hold on, y'all. Let me get this finger. Have not the Phoenicians built great cities on barren coasts with the wealth that comes from their ships and commerce on the seas? What? Then do you advise us to do that? we also may become rich. Ask still another of his friends. The years have passed, and we are no longer young men. We have nothing put by. I mean, they don't have nothing put away. They just been enjoying life like we do. Enjoy life, and then you getting older. You like, oh Lord, I done missed my life up. What am I do now? Same thing, same thing. I advise that you take the wisdom of Algamish and say to yourselves, a part of all I earn is mine to keep. Say it in the morning when you first arise. Say it in the afternoon. Say it in at noon. Say it at night. Say it each hour of every day. That way you telling yourself constantly, excuse me, y'all. You constantly telling yourself, hold on, y'all. My mouth is dry. Um, you constantly telling yourself, yes, let me put this up. Let me put this up. Um, say it each hour of every day. Say it to yourself until the words stand out like letters of fire across the sky. Impress yourself with the idea. Fill yourself with the thought. Then take whatever portion seems wise. Let it be not less than 1/10 and lay it by. Arrange your other expenditures to do this if necessary. But lay by that portion first. Take that 10% out first, no matter what. Take that out first. Soon you will realize what a rich feeling it is to own a treasure upon which you alone have claim. As it grows, it will stimulate you. You'll be happy. You'll be excited that you got some money put aside. A new joy of life will thrill you. Greater efforts will come to you to earn more. For of your increased earnings, will not the same percentage be also yours to keep? Then learn to make your treasure work for you. Make it your slave. Meaning, do it, do it, do it, do it. Let's see. Hold on. Soon a new joy of life will thrill you. Greater efforts will come to you to earn more. For of your increased earning, will not the same percentage be also yours to keep? Then learn to make your treasure work for you. Make it your slave. Make its children and its children work for you. Ensure an income for the future. Look thou at the age and forget not that in the days to come that also will be numbered among them. Therefore invest thy treasure with greatest caution that it be not lost. Unsurest rates of return are deceitful sirens that sing but to lure the unwary upon the rocks of loss and remorse. Provide also that thy family may not want should thy gods call thee to their realms. For such protection, it is always possible to make provisions with small payments at regular intervals. Therefore, the provident man delays not in expectation of a large sum becoming available for such a wise purpose. This is the book, y'all, that I'm reading. The Richest Man in Babylon. Counsel with wise men. Seek the advice of men whose daily work is handling money. Let them save you from such an error as myself made in entrusting my money to the judgment of Azur the brickmaker. A small return and a safe one is far more desirable than risk. Enjoy life while you are here. Do not overstrain or try to save too much. If 1/10 of all you earn is as much as you can comfortably keep, be content to keep this portion. Live otherwise according to your income. This right now, y'all. Live according to your income and let not yourself get niggardly and afraid to spend. I mean, don't be scared. Don't be scared to spend now, but don't overspend. Life is good and life is rich with things worthwhile and things to enjoy. His friends thanked him and went away. Some were silent because they had no imagination and could not understand. We know people like that. We know people like that. They just don't get it. Like what? Um, some were sarcastic because they thought that one so rich should divide with other friends not so fortunate. People always want your money. They always think you're supposed to share your money with them because they ain't got nothing. Ask me how to get it. I'll tell you how to get it, but I'm not gonna give you my money. You could get the money too. Just ask me. And but some had in their ears a new light. They realized that I'm a mid. All I'm trying to sound this out. Algamish had come back each time to the room of the scribes because he was watching a man work his way out of darkness into light. When that man had found the light, a place awaited him. No one could fill that place until he had for himself worked out his own understanding until he was ready for the opportunity. These latter were the ones who, in the following years, frequently revisit Arcad, who received them gladly. He counseled with them and gave them freely of his wisdom, as men abroad experienced are always glad to do, and he assisted them in so investing their savings that it would bring in a good interest with safety and would neither be lost nor entangled in investments that paid no dividends. The turning point in these men's lives came upon that day when they realized the truth that had come from Algamish to Al Arcad and from Arcad to them. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. So that's two chapters we done read tonight. So we're gonna read the chapter each night. It's only 115 pages, so we on page 25 tomorrow. So this book is, y'all, it is so true. It is so true right now today. Every word of it is true today, right now. Oh my goodness. Did y'all like the reading so far? Did y'all like the story? Did y'all like the story? And it's also on audio on YouTube. But what I realized while I'm reading this and the difference when I listen to it on YouTube, it doesn't have the same meaning or the same feeling. Like when I listen to it in the car and me reading, I feel it. I feel the words, and it's like, and how I can apply this to my life. And I'm like, wow, I didn't get the same thing. Oh, it is? Okay. All right. Well, my hour is up. Anything over hour, we do super chat. So if y'all want to go longer, we can do super chat. You want to do super chat, we can do super chat. Otherwise, thanks, Quinn. And what time I came on? I must came on at 10. And maybe other. Thanks, Quinn. I was so into the book. But we can stay on long if y'all want to do a super chat. Otherwise, we're gonna get ready to wrap it up for tonight. And we will be back. I'll be back on tomorrow. Oh, I don't know if my grandson have a game tomorrow. I don't know if we'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. But it probably be, I don't know what time though. Because my grandson might have a basketball game. Wait, let me hold my little page. Oh, let me put my little thing right here. So that way I'll know tomorrow where we at. But this is the book that I'm reading this week. The Richest Man in Babylon. You can also listen to the audio on YouTube. It's it's long. It's like a few hours. So yeah, yeah. I don't know if he got a game tomorrow though. But if he don't have a game, then I'll be on earlier. But if he do, it'll be probably like 9 some or whatever. But thank y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you, thank you. And we will meet again on tomorrow. I'm not sure what time, but we will meet again. Okay, y'all? Well, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. And thanks, Queen. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks, Melly, Christopher. Who else? I think that's it. JS. I guess he's selling a Paul. Thank y'all, everybody. Thank you, thank you. I was trying to make sure. Yep, thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Have a good night. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thumbs up. Bye, y'all. Good night. All right, Quinn. Bye.